Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here today to talk to you about some of the news coming out of NYCC. Now, New York Comic Con did happen this last weekend, and I was kind of curious about this because there was already rumblings that had been following about, Jim Lee talking to Marvel, then Jim Lee re-upping his contract, and rumors that him and Jeff Loeb would continue to go back to Batman. For people who don't know, he did a historic run. Maybe you've heard of it. Hush. If you haven't heard of it, if you've never even read that comic book before, you've probably seen the artwork from that book on many of T-shirts and skateboards or whatever, book bags, whatever they put all this artwork on. Basically, Warner Brothers had made a ton of money off of that run, just off of merchandising images alone. Very true. Go look that up. But the return of that, I was like, whoa, there's something happening here. There's some happenings in the comic book industry. IDW, we talked about that, or maybe I didn't. Decided to change their logo because rebranding, all of that, a lot of rumblings happening in comics. Now, why would this happen? Well, probably because things are hitting the bottom of the barrel. And we're at that point. I would say comics as an industry in the direct market, American comics, anyways, especially with the pull manga has on our audience, where it's probably sitting at the event horizon, right? It's hanging on, right? It's kind of stuck. It's actually in a bit of a mess, but it's stuck, right? It's not getting really worse, but it's not getting better either. So here comes the steroids, and the steroids are going to be in the form of what I want to call safe bets. And normally, I would say that's a good thing to do right now in the American comic book industry. A bunch of safe bets, right? It's definitely better than what Marvel and DC have been producing. Batman Hush 2 sounds great on paper, except for a couple of reasons I pulled out. I think in a previous video, Jim Lee had like 3 years to work on Hush, from my understanding, from start to finish. Think of it what you will, but Hush sold a lot of books. And there's a couple of things because it took him so long to do. There really wasn't like it wasn't built to have tie ins and stuff like that. Now, of course, this will probably reek of a bunch of spin-offs and tie-ins, and this is supposed to be more of the I'll be surprised if it doesn't become like an event of some sort. It's just the way I feel about it. There's just no way that they won't be that desperate to sell that they're just going to add in spin-offs to dilute this. And that's kind of why Hush worked when it did, is it was just a good jumping on point for a historic run of Batman, and that's it. You didn't really have to go read 20, 40 other titles to read. And look, I don't care what anybody says. I'll wait for the solicits to really believe that, they're not gonna milk this. And they probably should. I mean, this is kind of like a call out to retailers, right? A real big safe bet, like something that's on paper says, yes, this will save comics. Hush too. Now, obviously, Jim Lee had used Marvel to negotiate this situation. And hey, it works or doesn't work. So there's that. Another one I saw that really shook me for a second. And I'm a Venom fan ever since the 90s. And even me, who doesn't never read Donny Cates, I know that I've drawn Venom. I couldn't tell you why Venom was in battle armor or whatever. I drew tons of covers of that. I never read New Venom, even when I was working on it at Marvel Comics. This headline, Eddie Brock is now the new Carnage at Marvel, actually got my ears to perk up. What's happening, Shane? Something's happening. This is the type of retro meter stuff, right? The type of thing that hits somebody that gave up on comics 15 years ago. You just say to somebody, Eddie Brock is now Carnage at Marvel. You're like, what? What? It means nothing. Well, what's the big thing about Carnage on Eddie Brock? I don't know. I guess he can make blades now. And he's red. He just looks like Carnage. It's like there's no big change. But see, that hits the old, I don't know, soft spots. It pulls out my comic book dork strings, and it's like it gets me to turn and look. And that's where we're at now, right? The comic industry is actually begging fans that have gave up on being Wednesday Warriors to give and come back. They're like, can you please be bothered to give a cup of and come back? We know we ran you off with gay Superman and Miles Morales Spider Man and everything else, and maybe Peter Parker's a cuck. I don't know, but how about you come back? How about you give us some more of your money and build up this again? Because the air's out of the tire. It's a flat tire right now. Marvel Comics. Can you please consider coming back in and pump up this tire after we drove nails in it? Help us patch up this tire that is Marvel Comics. And this is kind of interesting because it's basically begging. It knows where its bread is butter. It knows who it needs to show back up. Now, I've talked in more on live streams and stuff, but how much Hasbro and the collectors market and the omnibus market and it's a certain time of fans and a certain age of fans now that have probably disposable income making $500 statues. Even McFarlane's now getting into the Marvel statues, selling them 25, $50 a pop. But they're all in a certain area of comics, and that's the 90s. That's pre-image era. That high watermark of Marvel comics. Again, the another safe bet on paper, it's like, that's so crazy. And it's like, yeah, but the more you think about it, it's like, yeah, I'm sure Eddie Brock will get back with Venom. And what is Marvel doing? Well, a big event because we can't sell woke characters. So how about the Spider Verse versus the Venom verse? Again, a safe bet, and a lot of this, I don't know if it's exactly for fans or if it's for the retailers that are, like, deciding to divest of buying Marvel Comics and DC Comics altogether. More maybe this is more attuned to the comic book shop owner that's about to just go completely Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic cards. Right? Like, this is a reason to put some comics back on the shelf as they've been clearing off the shelf for the manga. And I don't know. I guess the real question is this too little too late? This seems like a lot, but what I'm saying is this maybe should have happened, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I've argued that Jim Lee has horrible leadership at DC Comics and really doesn't do anything at DC Comics, and now I guess he's going back to do Hush too. Look, maybe that's the most he could do for DC Comics as far as, putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, which is they're sinking sales, but, like, at the same time, it's like, I still don't see the leadership happening here, and actually, again, these are safe bets. These are like, these aren't big-brained ideas. Look, I'm okay with this, but it just seems like they're not that creative, and at most they're a safe bet. I just don't see this riding the ship. I'm happy to hear both of these events coming out of this. At least it's things like Spider-Man against Venom in thrilling crossover battle. That sounds okay. But then I see the people like Jordan D. White on it. It's like, oh, okay, that's the guy. Yeah, that guy that did all the Hickman, the polyamorous X-Men, the woke X-Men comics. Yeah, that guy. Like he won't F this up. Like, that's not a safe bet. See, so the problem is even with these, hey kids, what if Colossus battled the Juggernaut? What if Wolverine versus Captain America? Like, or what if Wolverine had to become Captain America, even though he's Canadian? Like, like all of these things, it's like, but who's doing it? And in the case of Batman Hush 2, yes, it's Jeff Loeb and it's going to be Jim Lee. But I mean, let's be honest, both guys are probably at almost retirement age. Like, who is the new young blood that's gonna come in and save the American comic book industry when any of these guys decide to pack it up and they're done? God forbid somebody dies of a heart attack right now. Like, American comics is over because nobody's ever built up another superstar like Jim Lee or Mark Silvestri or Rob Liefeld, who again is another guy that's like, hey, I'm retiring from Marvel or I'm retiring from Deadpool. It's like, where's the new blood at? And is it going to be at Marvel and DC or is it going to come in the form of crowdfunding comics? By the way, Inglorious Rex, $220,404, 2,099 backers. Let's go. You guys want some awesome new comics? Maybe consider Inglorious Rex. Go check it out now in Lives Comics. Obviously, if you love Godzilla, you love Rocky, You'll absolutely adore Inglorious Rex. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for this smash hit comic drawn by yours truly and written. And we'll catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gon' lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card player right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to